Rocky and I work for Rackspace, and we get around the world and study lots of companies. But this time we're studying ComputeNext, which has a unique way for hosting companies to buy and share resources with each other. So this one's a little geeky and a little bit aimed at hosting, but we think you'll enjoy it. Who are you?
My name is Sundar Kannan. I'm the CEO and founder of ComputeNext. Basically, I came from the hosting world for many years. And what we are building today is solutions that can help hosters and data centers connect in a way that they can create new business models, make better margins, and compete with the big guys like Microsoft and Google and Amazon.
Yeah. People who are watching this, they'll either fall into two camps. One, they work at a hosting company and understand this world very well, and they're probably working at either Amazon, Microsoft, or Rackspace if they're in the modern world, and or GoGrid. The older world is struggling to get into this cloud world, and they're studying like OpenStack. They're trying to move their resources from this old mainframe kind of mentality to one where we rent their time, based on project, right?
That's correct. I see this as an opportunity because if you look at the traditional hosters, they have the workloads in terms of yearly contracts or monthly contracts. They do a lot of managed services. They do a lot of co-location. And this whole cloud paradigm has disrupted their business model. But I think that they have a real opportunity here because they do have a business case in the sense that they are very close to their customers in terms of network proximity. They are very good customer service. And then you put this federation idea that we are building where they can now share resources with other data centers and other hosters depending on workloads, depending on excess capacity, depending on time shift, depending on margins. So what they're going to get is a win-win situation where they're going to get the best of the world in terms of where they can share the resources and also retaining their customers. So I think that's going to help them with their top line.
Yeah. So you've built a service that is almost like an eBay for hosting companies, right? It lets them see, oh, there's 15 different data centers that have excess capacity right now, and they can see what kinds of machines they are, what OSs are hosted there, what resources are available, and they can see a price, right?
Yes, that's very close. But we are not an arbitrator. We are not going to go out there and take somebody else's data center and say how cheaply we can dump into someone else. What we are really trying to do is help them create more business, which means that at the end of the day, the demand and supply is going to be seen right there in the federation, real time, when an actual end customer comes to a data center and asks for a resource, a cloud resource, for example, 1,000 instances for 3 hours, but that data center has only 500 instances for 3 hours. So they have an opportunity to keep the customer, go out and federate to another data center and get those resources.
Got it.
So, and our secret sauce is the federation is the execution model. The secret sauce is how do you actually go out and get those resources? So you need to go out search, you need to go out catalog, you need to go out and match those resources. That's where our secret sauce comes in. That's where we have the foundation for building the federation.
So why would a Rackspace care about this?
A Rackspace will care about this in the sense that they might have a lot of capacity today, right? But on the other hand, they could be working with smaller and mid-tier data centers who themselves are looking for resources. Why would Rackspace throw away money knowing that they could come and transact in their own environment? And one day, while Rackspace is growing, they're not just going to keep building data centers after data centers because that's cost prohibitive. Oh, yeah. There's power issues, there's water issues, there's all these issues. They don't have to make those decisions quickly. They can go out back and federate and use those other data centers. So we believe it's a win-win situation even for Rackspace.
Yeah. Does OpenStack change this model at all?
No. One of the fundamental things that we looked at when we started was that we have seen many homogeneous solutions, EMC, Cisco, fantastic products. But we said if we want to really help the industry, it has to be heterogeneous. So we have to build across OpenStack or Eucalyptus or OpenNebula, whether it's KVM, Xen, Hyper-V, vCloud. We want to make sure that we have the ability to go across that. And just to add, the Rackspace recently buying Answer Labs is a great thing, because that's one of the things they are building, to have the ability to go across clouds.
Yeah. Where do you think this is going?
Oh, I think eventually when computing becomes a commodity, this thing, there will be so much automation, there will be so much need in terms of all the consumer demand that is coming down the pipeline, IPTV, social networks, data center demand is going to be extraordinary. Even though there's a lot of efficiencies and technologies in terms of making it, data center much more efficient, but still they are going to grow if they don't start coming together in a way that they can share those resources, because it's going to be a commodity based model.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit of what it is like for a hosting company to use this system, and can it be programmatically controlled?
It can be programmatically controlled. Eventually, it'll be automated.
So an alarm could go off, hey, we're running out of hosting space. Oh, this customer wants X number of machines. We can't serve that. And I can programmatically go out to your system and start hiring more resources?
You absolutely got it. So when you are part of the federation, and that's why it's important to be part of a federation. It's like a police union, right?
Yeah.
Like the police union is not going to support the firefighter, right? But he knows what the police guy is going to do, is because he's got his guidelines, he's going to follow certain rules, and he's going to support that guy. The unions are going to support the guy. In the same way, when a data center is part of the federation, we actually will have a full view of all the cloud resources that they have, what is being used, what is not being used. And the best part is all the private cloud software, even like OpenStack, is building up all these capabilities.
Yeah.
So you are not going to build a lot more things in terms of all the features, in terms of knowing what the data center has in terms of assets, and what is being used and what is not being used. So eventually we also see a business intelligence element into all of this. We can actually tell the data center, in the next 3 months, if you go at the rate that you're going, chances are you probably have to go out and buy a bit more, or you can start federating a bit more, or you're going to be under capacity.
Yeah. If Rackspace wanted to join this federation, how much work do we have to do to get all of our resources into the database that you're building?
It's actually very seamless. We are actually working purely on web services. So the intelligence and the glue in all these federation principles is all web services based.
Do I have to load anything on my machines or anything like that?
No. What we were thinking of is that there's two types of model. Either it could be very much light touch in terms of web services, or we could put a black box which will have the ability to go out and look for and search for the resources that you have in the data center. But other than that, there's no agents. You don't have to touch any of the machines that are on the floor, any of the racks, any of the storage, right? So you can either do either of the model, but both of the models are non-intrusive.
Okay. And how do you guys get paid in this model?
So very simple. When a consumer, when I say a consumer, it's a data center who is looking for a resource, or a provider who is providing the resource. The consumer comes in, we have this portal, which is the federation portal, right? And as I said, eventually it might be automated based on rules like eBay. But let's say manually they come in, they look for a resource, and there's a provider who has listed his resources. He chooses a resource, the transaction goes through, we take a cut from the provider. We are very aligned to the cloud model. If the cloud is going to be pay per use, we're going to be pay per transaction.
Got it. So you take a percentage of, if Rackspace pays you $1,000 for a bank of machines for an hour, you're going to take a percentage of that?
You got it.
Okay, cool. And tell me a little bit of the fundamentals of the company. How is it funded, and where are you in your adoption curve?
So we are a bunch of friends, and I used to be in the hosting business. I was in Microsoft last. I was a director in the Azure world, yep. And I saw this opportunity there. We came together. We were funded by family and friends. We're actually looking for VC funding at this stage. Okay. We have a beta that's coming out in probably second week of March. Right, and when I say beta, of course, with limited features, but something that can really show the value. So we are also looking for pilot customers like Rackspace to join the federation, so we can show the full value. But once we get the VC funding, we should be able to get a production product probably by end of this year.
Very cool. So you're very early stage, and you're just showing this concept around.
Yes.
So, and I guess that's why you wanted to talk to us. So we'll show it to Rackspace and,
yes.
and see if we can get them interested.
Absolutely.
Cool. Where do we learn more about you guys?
You can go to www.computenext.com.
Yep.
And you can find what the technology is. We are consistently updating the website. As you can see, we just came out of stealth, and you'll see a lot more data probably in the next few weeks.
Very cool. Are you guys on Twitter as well?
I'm on Twitter, but I haven't got ComputeNext on Twitter. We'll get that.
What's your Twitter address?
Sundarlingam K. SUNDARALINGAMK.
Very cool. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time and I appreciate giving me this opportunity.